Good afternoon, Monday afternoon. What a beautiful day. Sun shining, no rain, all the water we need in California for a while. I'll tell you, I'm having an extraordinary time on an ordinary day, and I hope you are too. I don't know how your weekend went, but I thought I'd share with you a little about my weekend. I took a busman's holiday, if you know what that is. That's where the busman gets on the bus and he rides and rides and rides because he never gets to see anything. He's just driving the bus. Well, for me, I went and looked at a couple of for sale homes, open houses, and I visited a new home subdivision and the models that they have there just to get a sense of what's going on. And I tell you, I was a little shocked in a couple of cases, and I was pleased in the other. When I think of the challenges that each and every one of us face as a real estate salesperson, I think to myself, what do I expect when I go to visit an open house? Well, I didn't quite expect what I got at the first one. It was actually old school. When I say that, I mean in the mid-'60s I did a research study on 100 people that had purchased homes in Southern California from realtors. And the conclusion I came to is that a lot of them were not prepared, and the ones that were prepared did exceptionally well. This actually was one of those that wasn't well prepared by my terminology. I go in and I get here's a brochure. If I can help you with anything, please feel free to ask me any questions you might have. So I said, thank you very much, and I walked through the house for about 10 minutes looking it over, trying to get some sense of wonder when she's going to come and ask me some questions. Well, that never happened. And I left. And I thought to myself, I wonder what the owner would have thought if they had been there at that point in time. Well, I went to the next open house, and I'm telling you, the difference was phenomenal. That agent, when I walked in the house, wanted to know, was I in the market for a home? Where did I live? How did I happen to find the house? She was on me like a dog on a bone. And she was prepared. She had all the things that she needed. She knew what she wanted to ask me. She knew the order in which she wanted to ask me if she had the opportunity. It was a refreshing and I think a little bit exciting to think that, by golly, do we still have some of those out there. And I thought, what a difference those two owners would have felt if they had been listening to this real estate agent represent the biggest investment most of us have, which is in our homes. And one was saying, here's a brochure, ask me any questions you might have, and left me alone. The next one said, I got a job to do. I'm going to sell this guy a house, and if I don't, I'm going to know why when he leaves. It was a tremendous experience for me to see the contrast. I've been in business 60 years. I've built hundreds of houses here in Southern California. I've hired salespeople. I've coached salespeople. I've even shopped salespeople. At one time in my career, I had a company called Personnel Profiles, and it was back when it was legal that you could tape conversations without the party being taped being aware of it. But I didn't even do that. Even though it was legal, the developer that I did the study for was it was part of his training program, and all of the sales agents signed an agreement that they knew that there would be a secret shopper coming through. So I became very familiar with both what's expected of a new home salesperson and what's expected from a for sale open house real estate agent. So it's not like this was a new experience for me, but it was refreshing to find that as disappointed I was in the first stop, how happy I was to see a true professional at work. And when I went to the new home community, they had a beautiful model complex and a gorgeous sales office. And it's amazing, all of us, we don't necessarily realize it, but we all have a script. It's just that some are better than others. The first for sale new home, resale home that I went to, the open house, she had a script. Here's a brochure. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. The second house, she had a script. She wanted to know where I came from. Was I pre-qualified? Did I live in the area? How did I happen to find the place? She had a series of about 10 or 12 questions, and it wasn't like I was facing a machine gun of questions. It was a professional, very artfully, asking me the questions that needed to be asked. And when I got to the new home community, there were two agents there, and unfortunately they offered me a brochure and pointed me to the direction to get out to the models. Well, that's okay, but they wasted a terrible opportunity. I mean, they did a terrible job with a great opportunity to get a little bit of information from me on my way through. But they didn't. And when I came back, they were sitting in their office, and one of them hollered out, do you have any questions? And I said, no, thank you very much, and I left. I think the thing that was interesting for me, it's been a long time since I've been to open houses and a new home community. And it was kind of a refresher for me back to when I did the study in the mid-60s, that not much has changed. Those that are prepared, they understand what their script and their dialogue is, what are the questions that they need to have answers to. They're there and they're professional. And I'm quite sure that the person that was in the second open house that I went to does real well in the real estate field. The first one may get there, but you know, each and every one of us. Now, I used to coach real estate agents also. I don't coach anymore. I like to share my thoughts and ideas that I've learned through the years with agents so they can get a sense of where I'm coming from, and they say they can agree with me, and sometimes they may disagree with me, and that's all fine. That's how we grow. But having been a coach, I know what a coach would expect from somebody, and I'd bet dollars to donuts that sales agent that did so well probably has a coach, and the others did not have. They may have had a sales manager that gave them some thoughts and ideas, but they weren't monitoring to make sure they were in effect. And so what I want to leave you with is there are three things that I think are critical when you're selling a house. First is preparation. And next would be a promise. What is your promise? And the third would be consistency. And so on Wednesday, I'm going to talk a little bit about the promise. And I hope those of you out there that can hear my voice will forgive me for the variance that I get from time to time. I'm really not going through puberty. I've had a serious battle with the flu and pneumonia, and my voice is finally coming back. But it squeaks a little bit now and then. So anyway, I thought I'd find it interesting to share with you what my weekend was like, and I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts and my take on my experience at that point in time. I hope some of that information gives you a sense of what I think our expectations ought to be as an owner of a home. Having someone represent us, they should be prepared. And when they're not, I was probably going to have my house on the market a little bit longer, unless it's priced substantially below the market. So anyway, as usual, those of you that know me, those are my thoughts, and I'm sticking with them. Have a great day.